With the release of its second chapter, Deltarune has seen a rapid increase in debates and arguments over the character of Ralsei, whether it is about his alignment or even whether he's a lightener or a darkener. The topic I'd like to shed some light on today has unfortunately nothing to do with these debates. However, I do want to briefly touch on the lightener-darkener debate for this to work. So even if the answer to the question is Ralsei a lightener or a darkener seems obvious to you, it might not to others. Since I need to keep this brief, here's the straightforward answer. Ralsei is a darkener. He's got a colored talk sprite, as opposed to the black and white style kept for lighteners. He does not appear in the light world when the dark fountains are sealed, although admittedly he doesn't appear as an item either, and he seems to completely dissipate upon getting negative HP compared to the lighteners, which simply look weakened. While that isn't necessarily an attribute specific to darkners, it is an aspect that differentiates him from other lighteners. As for arguments for Ralsei being a lightener, I feel pretty confident in debunking them. While this isn't confirmed, Ralsei probably doesn't turn to stone because he was created by the Grand Fountain. This assumption is based on the fact that the Grand Fountain itself does not cause other darkners to turn to stone. Ralsei traveling to the Cyberse world is not that crazy of a thing. We've seen direct travel between two separate dark worlds before, and while they were directly next to each other, it still proves moving between two of them is entirely possible. There are other parts of Ralsei's castle we haven't yet been able to explore, so who knows, perhaps he has a warp door in there that lets him choose where to go. Or it might even have something to do with the ability he implies to have to sense dark presences. I think all of that is enough to tell you that with enough common sense, the only plausible explanation is that Ralsei is a darkener. With all of that in mind, I'd like to begin my topic of discussion by pointing your attention to one very interesting line Ralsei uses to describe his prophecy. A legend that one day, two heroes of light will arrive and fulfill the ancient prophecy foretold by time and space. This specific wording becomes so much more curious the moment you look over when this exact phrase, time and space, is used in Deltarune's sister game, Undertale. Once it is used to describe So Sorry as being, quote, definitely in the wrong time and space, likely as a gimmick by the Kickstarter backer to include their own OC into Undertale's universe. Second, it is used by Papyrus to complain about Sans when he finds you in his room, quote, is Sans pranking you across time and space? Third, and more specifically similar to the phrasing above, across time and space is used by a Gaster follower to describe how exactly he was shattered upon falling into his creation and his experiments going wrong. Quote, they say he shattered across time and space. Now, hold on. Do you know who Gaster is? I highly advise watching these two videos here as I believe they are fantastic at describing what you need to know. So, are you all caught up? Do you truly know who Gaster is? Then you for sure know the deep connection he holds to Deltarune and his role as the missing link between the two worlds. And you also for sure know the interactions he probably had with Jevil and Spamton G. Spamton. These two pieces of information are vital for my idea here. That being, Ralsei had a similar encounter with WD Gaster to Jevil and Spamton's, and this isn't only based on the time and space line. Ever since its original announcement, Deltarune had a website created in order for people to get the game once it came out. However, using the Wayback Machine, a way to look into a website's past, we can find two notable archives of Deltarune.com dating all the way back to 2015. The one least notable for this analysis is specifically an archive of deltarune.com/him.png, something that no longer exists. This image, him.png, is a dark yet visible piece of text in the Wingdings font which directly quotes entry number 17. This next experiment seems very, very interesting. Make of that what you will. The more notable one can be found in archives of deltarune.com itself, dating back to 2016. A photo of the same name, him.png, can be found with similar contents to its 2015 counterpart. This says, 3 heroes appeared to banish the angels' heaven. In case you were doubtful, this also acts as direct confirmation that this is official, as it predates Deltarune's actual release. Next, I'd like to take a look at Spamton and Jevil and some unique quirks I figured out about them. First, I want to point out Jevil's foreshadowing of the roaring. Upon defeating him violently, he spouts, "Soon the Queen returns," and Hell's roar bubbles from the depths. Another thing of note here is his mention of Hell as a religious symbol, connecting perhaps with the angel religion of the light world or the angel's heaven of the prophecy. In fact, Jevil also calls us you sinners. I don't think I have to point out Spamton's religious connections. His ultimate goal seems to be reaching heaven, and he prays a lot too. Eventually, he just spent all his time in the basement praying. Spamton begs to the audience, Spamton prays to the audience. It is also notable that the healing spell is called Heal Prayer. And with that, the actual concrete evidence ends. Now we just need to interpret it. So, Ralsei says his prophecy has been foretold by time and space, and we can find records of the prophecy predating Deltarune itself written in Wingdings. I don't mean to waste your time here, so I will just tell you exactly what I think this means. Ralsei once met W.D. Gaster before the events of the game. At that time, Gaster either foretold the prophecy or invented it. Then he passed it down to Ralsei. In fact, I believe he passed it down to Jevil and Spamton as well, and they turned insane either because of extra knowledge that was sprinkled in, or existing knowledge that Ralsei just didn't care for. So, what does this mean for the future of Deltarune? An interesting topic of discussion I've seen floating around surrounds the idea of secret bosses. If regular people can be influenced by W.D. Gaster into turning insane and gaining powers relating to shadow crystals, then wouldn't it be interesting if something of the sort happened to a pre-existing character? To that, I say we already have two Darkners ready-made to be future secret bosses, Sham and Ralsei. I believe upon collecting all the shadow crystals Sham is aware of, they'll fight us in order to determine whether we're worthy of gaining the purified crystal. Then, by going down this path, something will change in Ralsei's way of thinking about the prophecy. I believe on a regular route, Ralsei might follow Chris and Susie's conclusion that the prophecy isn't entirely true, while on this theoretical Shadow Crystal route, Ralsei will continue believing in it while Susie and Chris will not. This will break into a conflict that will lead into a boss fight with him. I also believe that going down the secret route, we'd end up finding a new final boss, W.D. Gaster himself, as the creator, or perhaps connector of the worlds we play in. I don't know about you, but this only gets me excited for the new future of Deltarune. Thanks for watching.
Hello, welcome to the outro. Stick around, please, if you're interested in more content from me. First, thank you again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and all that YouTube stuff. But I want to make something clear before this is over. This video was more of an experiment. I wrote and recorded it on a whim months ago, and I don't think I'll be taking this exact same approach to writing for future videos. By that, I mean the video was very beginner friendly, and I explained a lot of simple concepts that most theorists are aware of. I have ideas for videos in the future that wouldn't exactly benefit from this kind of approach. Additionally, the very serious and formal style of the video might not stick around. This video took a lot of time to make, and future videos might do as well, but I'm confident it won't be as long. Trust me, you have no idea how long this took. With that out of the way, consider leaving a comment for the algorithm or whatever, and here, have some bloopers. It's kind of funny.
Across time and space is used by Dark Follower. Across time and space is used by why can I say that? In fact, I believe he passed it down to Jevil and Spamton as well, considering their knowledge of Angel's Heaven. And they turned insane either because... Okay, let's not add that. An interesting topic of discussion... Geez, if regular people can be influenced by W.D. Gaster... I lost the line, holy shit. While on this theoretical Shadow Crystal route... Okay. This is a long sentence. I also believe that going down this secret route, we'd end up fighting a new secret... That's not right. This will break out into a conflict that will lead into a boss fight. I already said that. I also believe that going down this secret route, we'd end up finding a new... I also believe that going down this secret route, we'd end up finding a new final... I'm just gonna give up on things.